Hi, good to see you again. I'm Graham Martin, I'm the Recruitment Guy with another 5-minute careers interview. We're here today with Nick Dines from Belgrave Communications, who specialises in PR. Nick, thanks for your time.
No problem, Graham.
Appreciate you coming in to see us today.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious, what do you do in PR?
Well, I think a good PR person has the ability to tell a story and communicate a message, and the best way to do that is through people and the lives that they lead, and then use that to try and sell your product, whatever the service it is you're doing for your clients.
So PR, public relations, isn't just about getting the message out through, let's say, a newspaper or TV or radio. There's much more to it today. With social media, it's about YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the other communication platforms, yes?
No, that's right, but I mean, when I started off in PR, which was 10 years ago now, we still sent out faxes over a very antiquated email system.
Yeah.
Obviously, the world's changed and social media is becoming more and more to the fore. But I've got one bit of advice for people: it's don't forget what the core of what you're trying to do is. You know, you may have Twitter, you may have Facebook, you may have a newspaper, you may have radio. If you don't get the message or the story right, it doesn't matter what platform.
So the essence of the message is key, really.
Correct.
So how did you get into PR? I got the impression you sort of fell into it.
Well, that's right. I did a degree at Essex University in history and politics. I graduated in the summer of 2000, so it ages me a bit as I look back on that.
I'm keeping real quiet here now.
Indeed. And I was living in Ipswich at the time, and like everybody who gets a degree and doesn't know what I want to do in Ipswich, you go work for the insurance industry, take the minimum wage job, and kind of mark time until you find a career you want to follow. And I saw the advert to work for a political party in the 2001 general election down in central London. I applied for it and luckily got it.
But they lost, didn't they?
No, they did, the party I worked for.
So was that your fault that the PR wasn't good enough?
Not quite, and I was actually doing research at the time, so that's my ready excuse.
You're blameless, okay.
Exactly.
Right.
So then, obviously when I lost, I moved over to the London Assembly, where I carried on doing research for a political party there, and I then went and kind of fell into the PR job when the guy who did PR left. Yeah,
that's interesting. So really the route to PR for you wasn't through doing a career in public relations and joining a PR agency.
No.
And again, off camera, you were telling me that a lot of people don't actually go into PR from a PR role itself.
That's correct. I mean, most I don't know anyone who's done a PR degree.
Really?
To put it in perspective.
In the job at the moment.
Working in the jobs that I know. That's not so obviously people do.
Yeah.
I've not come across anyone. And it's quite interesting as to what employers would be looking for in terms of an educational background.
Yeah.
And to me, running my own company, I think it's just important to show you academically you can survive, but also on your CV you've got a bit of life experience, you've got a bit of creativity. And whether that comes through a PR degree or not, I'm certainly not saying you wouldn't get a job with a PR degree, but it's not a necessity to get a job in PR.
So in terms of your role within the week, what do you do Monday to Friday and probably the weekends as well?
Yeah.
What are you actually doing? You're writing copy, you're meeting people, what's it about?
Well, a bit of everything really. I mean, we've got a number of different clients, all of which have different needs. I mean, just this week alone we put out over 50 press releases for one client, for a story they're running.
Yes.
Had to meet with the leader of a local authority to discuss something which the client has, and I then had a pitch in Wolverhampton.
So probably quite a few miles under the wheels.
Yeah, it was a fair few miles. A fair few miles this week, but every week really is varied. But ultimately, it comes down to making sure your clients are satisfied and you're delivering on them and exceeding expectations.
So there's a great deal of variety in what you do then.
Very much so.
So what's really the best bit of the job for you?
Client satisfaction. When a client phones you up and says they're happy with the work you've done.
And what's the worst bit?
Client unsatisfaction. When they phone you up to say they're not happy with the work.
They're unhappy.
Yeah, I mean it's all about results. You know, you've got, and I think Christian PR, you have to be able to prove the return on investment. Yeah. Which with marketing, they've got lots of wizzy metrics to do that. PR is actually a little bit more difficult. Yeah. Because how does getting a newspaper story prove that you've sold?
Are they getting their bang for their buck?
Exactly, and we've got an evaluation system that we think proves that, but it's actually it's quite difficult to prove sometimes.
And what's the wackiest thing you've done to promote your client's profile?
Probably dressed up as a market trader on Oxford Street to get ITV London to film me pretending to be selling stolen goods. And
did they do that?
They did, and then ITV London filmed a choir in Westminster singing the 12 Scams of Christmas, which I wrote.
Oh really?
Yeah, so that was the lead story in ITV London News. That's
so
quite
in that respect, very successful.
Yes.
Yeah. So if somebody wants to get into PR, you're not suggesting necessarily go and get a degree in PR. No. You're suggesting potentially work experience, other degrees that can prove how you think.
It's not even necessarily the work experience. It's more, if I was looking for a 21, 22-year-old to come, it'd be having a good academic background. Yeah. Can't dispute that. But I think that's needed. Bit of life experience, bit of creativity, and a willingness to muck in. The thing with PR is you can't be too proud. If you think you know,
stuffing envelopes,
staying up late, helping
canvassing
on
the
pitches,
streets,
and not necessarily getting, you know, the extra time and money for that. That's what PR is about, you know. And if you're not willing to roll, you think you're too good to roll your sleeves up and get stuck in.
Is there an institute of public relations officers that people can?
There is. For Chartered Institute, there's two organisations which I recommend anyone looks at. It's for Chartered Institute of Public Relations, which is cipr.org.uk, and the PRCA, who we're a member of, is that acronym I can't remember, but prca.org. Two great bodies. So if you phone them up and say, how can I get a career in PR, they'd be delighted to help.
And you also mentioned earlier off camera about the fact that PR often meshes with marketing. So some of those marketing agencies will have a PR department in the same way they have a social media function.
Increasingly, I think like in these times, people are looking to get the best value for money. Not necessarily having a marketing agency, a PR agency, a social media agency. You know, that's, people do still do it, but it's becoming less and less often. You have to have your. It's great if you have your services in one offer. I mean, if you'd have said to me 3 years ago, I'd know how to use Dreamweaver and create websites, I'd laugh. Skill sets are changing. But I'd also say having those skill sets is great, but you've got to understand the core of what public relations is.
Our viewers often want to know about how much money you get paid. Now, I'm going to put you on the spot because we don't want the revenue breathing down your neck. However, you know, generally speaking, if somebody's coming into PR, first job, moving all the way to maybe after 10 years experience, what could they broadly be expected to earn?
It's difficult because the public and the private sector pay differently, obviously, and there's lots of different routes in, but I would be expecting a first job for someone with no experience in central London to be paying around 18.
Yeah.
With by the time you're 30, you'd hope to be an account director.
Yeah.
By then, depending on the agency, public-private, you're looking between 40 and 60.
And are they mainly around London, or are there regional offices as well?
There's regional offices. Obviously, pay differential for regional offices.
But probably not in Ipswich.
there are a couple of agencies.
So really, don't worry if you want to get into PR. Don't worry if you don't live near London, because there are PR businesses in the provinces and in other cities and towns.
There are, but I would recommend to anybody. The reason people come to London is because the experience you get and the clients you get, and you can take that knowledge having worked in London and succeed out in, shall I put, a more sleepy area. You didn't have a London background.
So if there's one piece of advice that you'd pass on to our viewers today about getting into PR, what would that be? Work hard, which I know sounds obvious, but be prepared to muck in and do the dirty jobs, which you might think, oh, I've got a degree, I shouldn't be doing this. Right.
Well, sorry, reality check, you have to do those.
So don't be precious.
And it's amazing the amount of people I come across who are precious and just haven't succeeded. So first, I would recommend you do that. Stay on top of technology, but also understand that it's got to be part of an understanding about what communications is about, because you have to marry it together with the technology. Great. Well, Nick, thank you very much.
Thank you. I know we've gone over, it's more than 5 minutes, but I think that was really impressive information. So, Nick Dines from the Belgrave Communications Agency, thank you so much. Good luck with the rest of your role and your career, and we'll see you again. Thank you very much. Bye for now.